Hey everyone, welcome to the first video of this ACL Science Breakdown series where we explore cutting-edge research in the world of knee rehab. I'm Alan and today we're cutting open a fresh 2025 study, Neuromuscular Control Deficits after ACL reconstruction. Why is this worth your attention? ACL rehab is one of the most challenging topics in the world of sports medicine. Athletes strive to regain knee control and avoid re-injury, but too often we miss neuromuscular deficits that linger too long after standard rehab. This study reveals some of those hidden movement faults by comparing reconstructed athletes to healthy controls during single leg tasks and single leg landing. In today's video, we will cover why neuromuscular control is so important after ACL reconstruction, who, what, and how the research is tested, some key results from the study, what it means for you in terms of rehab insights, drills, and even assessments, strengths and weaknesses linked to this, and practical next steps for you. First up, why neuromuscular control matters so much after ACL reconstruction. Those 200 to 250,000 ACL tears per year in the US come with big consequences: pain, long rehab, and about a 45% chance athletes don't even return to sports. Even after surgery, many athletes keep moving with faulty patterns, like knee valgus, trunk instability, and hip-to-knee imbalances. Neuromuscular control reflects how the central nervous system coordinates muscle activation to protect the knee during tasks like landing, squatting, sprinting, changing direction. And after ACL reconstruction, we often see compensations. Think about weak hip muscles, quadriceps overdrive, poor trunk stability, all of which can increase re-injury and even lead to early osteoarthritis. The study frames this problem clearly. Standard strength tests or return to sports batteries may miss deeper control deficits. And that's why the authors of this study include two tests: the single leg squat and the single leg drop landing. Then they use qualitative analysis of single leg squat, a validated score for movement quality, plus surface EMG on gluteus medius and vastus medialis, two core muscles for knee joint stabilization. If athletes who passed actual return to sports tests still had some deficits within these two tests, that means we've got blind spots in our rehab programming. Now let's break down how the study was executed. In terms of participants, we had 9 ACL reconstructed individuals and 7 healthy controls. Task number 1 of the test was a single leg squat. Participants had to perform a full knee flexion squat on one leg, paying attention to alignment, balance, trunk control, and valgus. Task number 2 was a single leg drop landing. This was from a 30 centimeters box. They had to land softly on one leg, focus on absorption, alignment, and stability. The evaluation tools were very simple. They had movement quality score based on 10, and the higher score, the poorer quality. Secondly, they had sensors on the gluteus medius and vastus medialis, which recorded peak activation relative to max voluntary isometric contraction. This design balances practical relevance with objective measurement, ideal for linking rehab and research. First findings: movement quality during single leg squats. The ACL group had a significantly higher qualitative analysis of single leg squat than the controls. This means that the ACL reconstructed individuals made more postural mistakes, like knee valgus, trunk lean, pelvic drop, or poor control. By contrast, during single leg drop landings, qualitative analysis of single leg squat showed no difference, which means that slow, controlled tasks highlights deficits better than dynamic exercises like the single leg drop landings. Because during dynamic tasks, athletes may brace or overcompensate during landings, making motor control problems. Next up, electromyography activation for the gluteus medius and the vastus medialis during a single leg squat and single leg drop landing. During a single leg squat, the gluteus medius was lower in the ACL group compared to the controls, while the vastus medialis showed higher activation in the ACL group. Now, during single leg drop landings, there were no significant differences in either muscle. The gluteus medius and the vastus medialis were similar between groups. This means that there is lower hip activation and higher quadriceps activation during slow, loaded task points to compensatory strategy. But with less hip control and more quad engagement, this is a big risk for knee injuries. Again, in dynamic tasks, athletes may brace or overcompensate during landing, which is easy to hide the deficits. This highlights the importance of task-specific assessments and focusing efforts on hip stability. To wrap up, here is what this study brings to your rehab. Include single leg squats in your screening. Use qualitative analysis single leg squat to catch neuromuscular control deficits. It's quick, cheap, and reveals control issues which are completely missed by standard tests. Secondly, prioritize hip control. Because the gluteus medius was underactive, I think this is a good time to remind you to include exercises like lateral band walks, hip lock exercises, monster walks, or lateral step downs. Tip number 3, balance quad engagement. We need to avoid excessive quad dominance. Use slow, controlled movements and teach athletes to cue glutes first. On number 4, incorporate electromyographic feedback. If you have access, use real-time feedback to teach athletes to activate their gluteus medius during single leg squats. Number 5, blend tasks. You need to incorporate both slow and controlled and dynamic tasks in your assessments to make sure that you don't miss any control deficits. And lastly, this study highlights the importance of long-term follow-up. Test single leg squats and electromyography at 6, 9, 12 months post ACL surgery to ensure persistent deficits are addressed. So yes, this study has only 9 ACL reconstructed individuals and 7 controls. It's small and cross-sectional. Electromyography has limitations and we only looked at 2 assessments. But even with those conditions, these results shine a light on the importance of movement quality. And that's exactly why you should do the movement quality screening. Alright friends, here are the key takeaways. ACL reconstructed athletes oftentimes still have some neuromuscular control deficits during slow and controlled tasks like a single leg squat. Poor gluteus medius activation and overactive quadriceps during single leg squats suggest control compensations. Using single leg squats and qualitative analysis, single leg squat with targeted rehab can help address these lingering deficits. And of course, hopefully reduce the risk of re-injury. If you've been in ACL rehab, I want to hear from you. Have you used qualitative analysis, single leg squat, or electromyography feedback in your programs? Drop your experiences and questions in the comments below. Thanks for watching our first episode of this series, and click the bell to stay in the loop of the next videos. If you found this interesting, please give it a thumbs up, share with fellow coaches or physios, and let's keep pushing the science forward. See you next time.